welcome back. And guys, this video gonna be long. I hope you're gonna like it. I hope, guys, programmers always have the energy to watch whatever they presented, as long as it's all about coding. Guys, okay, in this video we want to talk about Java arrays, and in arrays, we're going to talk about how you can store for example, you got a lot of fruits, and it's a mix of fruits. Maybe you have guava, you have avocado, you have banana, you have lemon. All those fruits, you want to put in one basket. So what you're going to do, you're going to create you're going to have a very large basket. So in that basket, then in the previous variable that we've been creating, in fact, it was a small thing. So when you have a lot of things, we normally use the array type. So array I used to store multiple values in a single variable instead of declaring separate variables for each values. To declare an array, it's simple, guys. You just use the bracket. You see, so that bracket is called the square brackets. Square brackets. In fact, what we do is just like yes, I'm tired of creating classes. Can we please kindly request of you? Can we please use the how do you call it? Can we please use the we use the excuse me? I don't okay. Hey, sorry. We use this class that I've already created, and instead of creating another one. So I want to delete these things here, and I delete everything. So this now right. Okay, guys. In fact, this is the syntax. So what you normally do is just an array is a string type. So you're going to create a string, then we put the double brackets like this. Ooh, this one. Oh no, this cool. And then from here, what we do, we want to create an array of let me call it what else? Let me fruits. Yeah, fruits. I want to have an array of fruits. So that is it. So let's see how we can work with this. Yeah, let's continue. So guys, this is the thing. So we have now declared a variable that holds an array of a string. To insert the value to it, what we normally do, we just use an add literal. A literal place the values in a comma separated list instead of carry places. So this is the thing. We have a string here, which is this is an array type, and we have an array of fruits. So inside here, we want to say it's equal to, then the curly braces, then inside here the curly braces, because we are going to have a string of fruits. So I'm going to do this. In the first one, we are going to have mango. Then the next one, remember guys to put a comma here. Sorry, you remember to put a comma. And then the second one, we want to have let's say lemon. And then in the third one, we're going to have avocado, and then avocado, and then we want to have. Can we have the last one? Let's say oranges, right? Oranges. Cool. Now we're done with the array. The only thing that we left with is just this. So this is it. This is how we create this, and we usually have a content. That's why it had some issues. So this is it. So to create an array for integer, this is an array for string. For an array for an integer, you just create the int type, and then you take the array in sign the two brackets, then you say int integer. can I call it int? Yeah, let me call, okay, let me call number, right? So then you just say equal to, look at this, we want to have a curly brace, and then we should have, let's say, 20, 45, 70, blah blah. So remember to put the comma here. So put a comma here, and also put a comma here. Also put this. So this is an array from int. This is how they're being written. So guys, that is it. So the first thing we want to do, we want to access an element of an array. We want to get something from an array. For example, we need an orange. How will we get that orange? So what we want to do is we want to access an array element by referring to the index number. So what we normally do with this, if we want to overcard here, we just refer the index number of this. So the index number of this, as you can look it, maybe it will be position 2 because it's 0 and 1, 2. But this is by just looking. So how we need to do with the code type. So this statement that takes the value of the first element in so I'm going to write the statement down. So I'm going to say system dot out. Okay. Guys, in fact, there is a shortcut for writing this in the back of it, but I don't want to learn it because I want to learn how to write. So I'm a junk when it comes to that. So print do this. So what I want to access the first index. So the first index is actually 0, so there is no there, right? So in this bracket, I'm going to put the array type. I'm going to just put that, and then say what name? Number. Okay, let's start with the fruits. I want to copy this and then copy this. There's a problem here which I don't know, but I'm going to do a very simple thing to get us what we did about so print line, then edit this, and then I think I have to put something fruits. So from there I'm going to output something and see what what it seems is another thing. So let me put this. I think this will solve the problem. Okay. Okay. And there is an illegal. Yes, let me see. Okay. Oh, yeah. I see what the problem is. Okay, so I think I have a problem somewhere. Oh, guys, I'm sorry I did this. Usually I cut this. You should just close it here. And then inside here, I'm going to, as I've said, I want to see the first index or the index what we have in the first index in the array. So I'm going to write 0. So guys, let's run. See what we have. So as you can see, guys, we have mango on the console, meaning that the first index is mango. Let's see this one. We don't know. So let's say index 2. Run. So guys, as you can see, we have avocado. So this is how we fetch, or this is how we access an element referring to an index. So that is it. What you have to learn here is that what you have to understand is that array index start with 0. So 0 is the first element, and then 1 is the second element. So let's see how we can change an array element. To change the value of a specific element, we refer to the index number. For example, here I want to change a certain fruit. Let's say now we have okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to let me first remove this, and then I want to change. I want to change an array element inside here. Maybe let me say I want to change the mango. What will I do? I'll just come here down and say the fruit array, because it's an array, fruit array, which position will be 1. I want position 0. And then I want to change this to something else. Let's see if it's going to work. if you try to work, it's magic. So okay, as an array, you must be there. I want to change mango to which fruit, guys? Well, let me say banana. Banana. So let's see if we can change this. So let me run. We want to see if this one is going to be changed. So I want to come on down here and then I say system.out.print, and then this is the first index, right? Let's see if we can change this, and then see personality is going to have, yeah, we have banana. So guys, what we have done here, we just change the first index to banana. That is it. So if I want to change avocado here, then you see the system development. I want to print the fruits in an array. So when I printed this, I replaced with the banana. And what I did is that in those fruits, I said in these fruits, in array index 0, I want to change that value. I mean that name inside the banana. So if I want to change this orange, definitely this is index 2. So we will always have banana in that. So if I run, that will be the avocado, right? So I've changed that. So guys, let's see on how we can do with array length. So in array length, sorry for my pronunciation, guys. It depends where you come from. So I come from a very awkward background where I almost have six languages to speak so far, and English is my sixth language. So I don't worry when it comes to this, because after all, guys, we are not going to write what I'm saying. I'm going to write the right things. Guys, thank you, forgive me. So array, we want to see what we have in the array length. So to find out how many elements an array has, we use the keyword length, which is inbuilt. So what I'm going to do here, I want to see the length of these arrays inside here. What am I going to do? I'm going to just come down here, just remove this, and then just say fruits dot in the array. In that fruits, we want to find a keyword. We have a lot of keyword here. So as you can see, length has popped out. So I just click this, and then I see that in this fruits, and then I want to find the length. How the length, the number of things inside there. So I don't know. So this is an inbuilt method. This is a method in Chatterjee. So we will learn a lot. We will learn later about methods. So let's see how length is these characters or these things inside the array. So as you can see, we have four. It's actually four, guys. Am I wrong? So we have mango, lemon, avocado, and orange. This is the only things that we have. So I found the number of words inside that array. That's it. That is it. That is it, guys, about the length. So you have learned about the length. So the next thing, guys, we want to talk about is a loop through an array. So a loop through an array, you can loop through the array element with a for loop, and use the length property to specify how many times the loop should run. So the following example outputs all the elements in the in the fruits array. So let's see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the for loop to output to specify how many times the loop should run. So guys, let's do this. What I'm going to do, sorry for doing this. I think this I will need it, so no need for that. I just remove this and then okay. So guys, I want to use the for loop. Then I say for loop in int, and I declare I say let me call it j. Then int j is equal to 0, and then put this. The next thing I do, I just say j, and j is less than the length. So if you don't know the length of words inside, we use a method, the method that we have already used. So because we don't know whatever is in that fruit, so we use this keyword, and then we just say fruits. Okay, you're trying to show me that they already have something down here. So in this, I will just say control V, and then I say fruits dot length. then length, and I have to put the J plus plus so that the loop can break out. And yeah. So down here, in fact, what I'm doing is saying for int j is equal to 0, and then int j, yeah, and j is less than the fruit's length. Concatenate. So what I'm going to say, what I'm going to do on the output, what I'm going to do is just I want to remove this, and then like that. Then I say in that I want to see what is j, like that. So guys, let me run and then I will explain once. So as you can see guys, we have mango, lemon, avocado, orange. So guys, this is what I wanted you to know. When you use the for loop, you can print everything that it was in those fruits, because we didn't know, we don't know what we had. For example, assume somebody did an application, and then we didn't know the number of whatever was in, or let's assume it's something on the website, and we don't know the number of things that is inside an array. So we normally use this. So we use the for loop to fetch everything that is in the array. So we use the for, and then we say for int we declare j, we don't know what's there, is equal to 0. Then this we start from the position 1, and then j is less than fruits dot length. So the length, we use the length and we found out the number of things that we want, which is 4. So and then concatenate, so we printed everything out. That was simple. So guys, we have looked it through using a for loop. Let's see if we use the loop through an array. We want to look through an array using the for each. So there is also a for each loop which is used exclusively to look through elements in arrays. So the syntax is simple. We just write this is the syntax. Just write for, and then in this bracket you just say the type, and then the variable, and then we put this there, and then we say array name. So this is the syntax, guys. Array name. This is the syntax. Whew, that is it. So the for example, let me do one example here in these mangoes, and I'm going to use the for each loop. So let me delete this. At least this is the syntax, guys. You have seen something here. So let me remove this. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So I'm going to do an example. So I'm going to still use this because I'm too lazy in writing. But for this, I'm saying for. So here I'm going to change these things here. Fruit door length is one way of putting everything. So here I'm going to say string. Let's say j. I like labels and j. Then the syntax that I show you is nothing complicated. 20 fruits. That's it. It's so simple. Instead of using the other for loop, the for loop is kinda longer, and people hate using longer things. So where it was actually it was a little bit longer, and it was a little bit longer. That's it. That's the point. So, but with this one, with this one, for each, for each actually you just use for each. So I'm saying for the string j, and then this one is for each. This actually means like each. So let's first print out and see what we have in the console. In fact, I'm going to remove this. I'm going to remove this and just write j. So let me run this and see if we have the same thing. So guys, as you can see, we have mango, lemon, and oyster. So guys, it's the same as the one that I used there, but this one is for each. So the example is read by, it's like for each. So the string element called j as in index, you guys get in the fruits print out the value of j. if you compare the for loop and the for each loop, you will see that the for each method is easier to write. It does not require a counter. The other one we use the counter type. So using the length property in small readme. So that is it, guys. So this is more simpler than the other one where we use the for. Then we just say the string, and then we declare, we sign this. We have a variable, so this is a variable, Then we bow. It's like taking all the fruits that were in here. Then these fruits are here, right? So we just assign. It's like we took all the fruits into this string with this column here, and we print out this one. But the previous one we used the counter. So as these are about this. So let's talk about the multi-dimensional arrays. So guys, what's the multi-dimensional arrays? So a multi-dimensional arrays is an array containing one or more arrays. To create a two-dimensional array, add each other array within its own set of curly braces. For example, I'm going to show you. Something here. So this one, in fact, is like having two arrays. Now that is something that we can have. So we just do this. These are two-dimensional arrays. The one that we have been working with is the single. It was a single array, but this one is a two-dimensional array. So let's say my number, and then we can assign this, right? So I'm going to have these curly braces, and then I'm going to have a couple of numbers in. Sorry guys, sorry. Too bad. So this is it. So I'm going to have two-dimensional arrays. So the first one, I must do this. The first one, this one I'm signing for the first one there. This one, you see this two characteristics for this. Yeah. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, and then I do this. Allow me to do this. Then the second one, I'm going to I have to put a comma there, and then I have it. Then I say let me say 7, 8, 7, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 0. Let's say 0. So I'm going to have a comma here, comma here, comma here, and comma here. So I have to close these. In fact, there's something went down, so I didn't do this because this is the second one. So I'm going to hold on. First, this is the simpler way. I thought this one you can see it too. So this one, the first curly braces is for this array, and the second one is for this array, but it's in another curly braces which is is in one package. So here inside here I can have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then here I can have 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can put a comma here, comma, and another comma. Then I can here, comma, right? So this is it. So these are two-dimensional. So my number, this number here that I created is now an array with the two arrays as its elements. So to create the element of a number array, specify to index one of the array and one of the elements inside that array. This example shows the third element, which is the second number in the second array, and the first one is the number. So this is it. So guys, I want to this is how you create a two-dimensional array. The first one I've said 1, 2, 3, 4 is the first array, and then the second one 5, 6, 7, 8 is for the second one. So I want to do a very simple example here. So I come down here. Let me remove this. Just cut. Then I come here. I think I come down. Then do this. So I'm only to create an int. Let's say int x. Let's say it's equal to my number. So I want to send this number to the x value. Then I'm going to do an array here. Set the first one and the second one. See if we can print this. So and then I put a comma here. Cool. Now, guys, what have I done here? just created one array so that it can, one variable that can have the two variable. So this number, all these numbers are inside this variable, right? So I can come down here and then I create another variable, and then I send this variable with, I had to put these two variables assigned to show that it's two-dimensional. I must include this. In fact, this is 1 and this is 2. Yeah, to show that it's an array of two. Yeah, it's an array of two dimensions. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to print out this. I think this is, you might know, but as long as you do more examples, you're going to get this. You're going to see the concept. So if I print out, let's see what I have in the console. Let's I have 7. I have 7. Where did 7 come from? Where did 7 come from? So let me explain this. So guys, let me clarify this. We had two arrays, and then I wanted to access a specific number. So if I wanted to, I want to access this 7. How will I go with that? So I had to create a variable, and then in that variable, and then these numbers, I told this number, and then the first array is actually saying that I want the second. I want the second array. Okay, simple. You see, the first array here, it's actually specify the index of an array, right? So, guys, the first array. For example, we had another array here, guys. Sorry to do this. Maybe this one, this way you can understand. And then I have another number of. You see, this one is this one here. And this one is this one here. For the third one, we will have something here. Let me remove it. Now you understand. So the first array here, I'm just specifying the index. So I'm specifying the index of an array, right? So we have two arrays. I'm specifying the index number of that array. So the index of that array, which is 1, is actually this one, because this is 0. This index here is 0, and this one is 1. So I said in the array of the second, which is the actual number 1, which is this one, which is represented. In fact, if I say 0 here, then I will be referring to this array. But if I say 1, I'm referring to this. If I had the third one, then I say 2, then it will be that one. So in the second array, then I want to print out the second position number. So this is 0 and 1, 2. So 2, this is the position. Definitely I'm going to print out 7. So let me run. That's why you saw on the index. On the console, that's why you saw 7. Let's say here it's 0. Then definitely the second position will be 0, 1, 2. Then it will be 3. So let me print out. Oh yeah, you see it's 3. So that is it. So we can use this type to specify the index number of that array. So that is it, guys. So we can also use the for loop inside another for loop to create the element of two-dimensional array. We still have to put two other indexes. In fact, let me do it. Let me do it, guys. It's too long. Yeah. Let me write down, then I will explain everything, right? So guys, let's do this. So whatever I'm going to change is a little bit. Let me just remove this because this was simple. Let me also remove this. That is it. So I want to use a for loop inside another for loop to check the index. So what I'm going to do is to create a for loop. So it's for, I'm going to say for these arrays. You must say it's an array, right? So let me say another array. So my number, which is number, is equal to curly braces. No, not that. I'm going to say I think this one is just a repetition. So once you say for int, for int, you must have the curly braces here. So I'm going to have like this is, so I'm going to say int I, we have used this term before. Int I is equal to 0. Then I'm going to use the length thing. Know how to use the length type to find the length of the things that were in the array. Then I say I is less than the length is less than my number. I'm going to take this, copy that, and then I print it here. Control V dot length. That is it. Now this length is actually saying that everything was in that array. So this one is actually checking the length, the first bracket. You see, it's going to check everything in that. This loop is actually checking everything in that carry traces. So and then you must do this, guys. Remember, don't forget this. If you forget this, then you finish. And this one is a pre. It's called the pre-concatenation, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to explain this later. And then this one we have done. But remember, we want to do this is a for loop inside a for loop. Okay, this is getting complicated. Don't worry, I'm going to explain. So this is a loop inside a loop. So this one is going to do the first thing, and then the second one is going to check for the second now the array now. This one is going to check on the from here. You see this first bracket and this final bracket. It's going to check everything inside here. And now the for loop, the second for loop is going to check for the number of the arrays. So four. Yes, are you getting bored? No, things are not complicated as you think. Anyway, you have to convince yourself that this is programming and you have to follow the rules. So int, now this one I'm going to change. Let me say call it k. Int k, which we don't know, is equal to 0. And then I put a comma here, semicolon, and then I say k for the length now. I'm going to say k is less than my number. Is less than my number. The number of this is the number of arrays. Arrays. So the number of arrays you must put length, because you might have many arrays, but sometimes it's complicated to create a program like that. So dot length, you want to check the number of the arrays that we have. The first one was to check the number, and the second one was to check the number of arrays. So we must put the pre-concatenation. So this one is k. Right, guys, we're almost done. So what we're going to do here, we're just going to put the system.out. What are we going to print? Can you guys? So we have to have the number, and then we need to have the number, and then we have to include this because the system is an array. So we need to have two of them. It's going to loop through, but I need to explain this in a better way. So then I put this. Then it seems that there is a problem somewhere. Where is the problem? Get a class number. Oh, I have a problem here. So number. Okay, wait a little bit. Yeah, it seems this is the problem. The length, and then so are we done with that? And then the last one, we must say I. The first one is I, right? The second one is k. Yeah. So guys, we are done. So in fact, what I'm doing here is that once the first loop checks that I is equal to 0 and I is less than a number of the length is going to print. So whatever is going to print, if the condition is true, it will going it's not going to get out of the loop, but it's going to go to the second loop, and then once it's done, then it goes back. So it's okay, guys. Let me find a good lamp. So guys, having a two-dimensional array, you just have to write the two values because it's a two-dimensional. So the first one, let me run this and see what we have first on the console. We have 1 2 and 5 6, right? So guys, it's simple. It had to print. The first one has to print the first array, and then the second one was to print the second array. That is it. That's simple, guys. Thank you so much, guys, for being with me, and I hope that you guys you continue to subscribe my channel, and also hope that if you don't understand, please don't fear to ask. You just have to send me an email, and then I will read it back and I will get back to you, and that's how we learn. So thank you so much, and goodbye.